Hello, my name is Dana Bellamy, and for those who don't know me, I'm the author of Raising Happy Hearts, which is available on Amazon. I am also the mum of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. Our oldest is 14, our youngest is 2. Been married to my husband for 15 years, and I'm an Australian living in Colorado, USA. And so today I just wanted to share with you something that came up. I was speaking to a lady, and she was talking about that whenever her husband and her went through a stressful time, that her husband really withdrew from her and, in her words, despised her. And so she wanted her husband, to give her more grace during that time and not be, so standoffish and, not loving towards her. And she sounded like the sweetest lady ever, but I just feel led to ask her, how do you treat your husband during those times of great stress? And, she admitted that she's not without fault. So what happens a lot is when, us wives and even husbands, it happens with them too, whenever we get stressed, it's easy to lash out. And the easiest person to lash out on is our family, like our husband and our children. But what the problem is that, just like wives need love, husbands need love as well, but the way that they perceive love is when we show respect towards them. And the way that we show respect towards them is through the words of our mouth, and more importantly, the tone that we use when we speak to them. So this lady was going through stressful situations, and instead of speaking to her husband kindly and with respect, she would lash out at him, which he would take as, the opposite of being loving towards him, so that he would withdraw from her, which, he would also withdraw his love from her. And so then she felt unloved, and why doesn't my husband, show me more grace? And so it's a cycle that, if wives are, if like husbands act unlovingly towards the wives, then the wives would speak disrespectfully to their husbands, which would in turn have the husbands be even more closed off and less loving to the wives. And so the way that we, turn that whole situation around is that wives need to, even if they don't feel loved, they need to show respect to their husbands through the tone of their voice and the words of their mouth. And then the husband will feel loved because now they feel respected, and then they will in turn be able to, show love and want to show love to their wives. And it takes one person, to be the bigger person, to start that cycle to, even though you don't feel loved, go ahead and be respectful to your husband. And if you're a husband listening to this, even if you don't feel respected by your wife, show love towards her, because, it's a cycle. And when wives are loved, they show respect. When husbands are respected, then they can show love, but it takes one person to be the bigger person. So I just want to encourage you wives to be really thoughtful about the tone of voice that you use towards your husband. Make sure that you are not condescending towards him. Make sure that you are not, nitpicky and, complainy towards him. Make sure that you uplift him. Make sure that you honor him, respect him. Treat him like you want to be treated. The golden rule. And you may think, well, it's so hard. I can't, be respectful towards him because he's not being loving towards me. And the Lord reminded me of, Joyce Meyer, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before. Joyce had a hard time being, showing respect to her husband in the way of, just speaking kindly to him. And she was saying to the Lord, Lord, I just can't help it. And the Lord was like, good and well that if your pastor were to pull up in the driveway right now, then you would, come to the door all smiles. Hi, Pastor, how are you doing? And so it's just a choice. It's a choice, and our flesh a lot of the times won't want to, but we have to put our flesh into submission and do the right thing. We want to be married to someone that, is kind and considerate and loving. So we need to make sure that we are that person in the marriage as well, because at the end of the day, we reap what we sow. It says in the Bible, do not be deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that shall he also reap. So if we're constantly acting condescending, disrespectful, not using the right tone towards our husbands, whinging, complaining, nagging, we're going to get a harvest. And it's not going to be a harvest that we want. So I just want to encourage you, if you are noticing that your husband is not being that loving towards you, take a look at yourself and see, am I being respectful towards him? And I was looking online today and I saw a list of 101 ways that you can show respect to your husband. So if you need more ideas of how to show respect, go ahead and Google it, look online, come up with ideas of how you can be respectful towards your husband. And as long as you're sowing good seed and being loving, you're going to get a good harvest, and it's really going to help your marriage. And so I just wanted to encourage you with that. All right, love you guys. I hope this blessed you. If it blessed you, please like and share it so it can be a blessing to someone else. And subscribe on YouTube and like my page on Facebook. All right, love you guys. Bye.